Hello and welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and today we're here with another installment on our Dresden case study. Today we're going to put a Dresden and show you how to do a Dresden on a porthole. Now, Curve Boot Camp is coming up, but after our nosegay sew along. So this is kind of one that you always kind of like, well, how are you doing it? So we'll go more in depth when we get into the boot camp, but I just wanted to show you how fast this is to do something different. Another thing is I would like you guys to go check out Lisa from Prairie Nights Sewing. She's a very talented quilter and she's just starting her YouTube channel and she's doing a lot of fun stuff over there. So go check her out. Subscribe if you like what you see. And let her know that Brenda has sent you along. The other thing is, when we're filming this, okay, we have a Facebook group, and it's called Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda, and we will put in the show notes below both Lisa's Prairie Night Quilting and our Facebook group, right, Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. But we always either running a poll, like when we're filming this, I don't know whether we're running a poll or we've already set a virtual sew date. And that virtual sew date is very important. The poll tells you, kind of everybody votes, majority rules, as to when the sew date is happening. And for my life, Saturday works best for me, so I'm hoping Saturday works best for you. But we have ladies from all over. We have some amazing, talented quilters from everywhere from the UK and Europe and Germany and Italy, and we had a lady there from Chile. We had Future Cat from New Zealand and some ladies from Australia, which was it was a lot of fun. It's very international flavored. So you come, you vote if there's voting to be done, or you get a Zoom link as to when and where and all the rest of the stuff. But it's not recorded. So you're not going to be, finding yourself on YouTube later on. So come on in, let's get to this sewing. Okay, for this, we're going to need, I just made a Dresden plate. Here, hang on, let me show you this. I just made a Dresden plate with 6-inch, that are 6-inch Dresdens, right? So I measured from the template that you'll find in the show notes. The templates are all in the show notes. I just did a 6-inch Dresden, and you've seen these. I can link you to the original one. This is an old-fashioned original Dresden, and it is kind of circular in shape, but I mean, we're going to put it into a porthole. So I just used a 6-inch. Now, I was cutting a bunch of them because I was doing a bunch of different stuff, so I decided, okay, I'll just do a bunch of these, and then we'll use them up, and if I have to cut some of this off, I have to cut some of this off. So what I'm going to do now is I got my 20 blades. They all fit around there really nice. I'm going to take my Easy Circle Cutter. I know, oh, that's glare and you can't see anything. The Easy Circle Cutter. Oh, I'll go this way. Easy Circle Cutter. Now, you can use any circle cutter you've got, right? Don't sit there and go, oh, I don't know what I've got here. I need this tool, I need that tool, or whatever. My grandmother cut many, many circles using a string and a pencil and a pin. And, then she just drew the circle all the way around, and that's where she went, right? So, what we're going to do is line this up, and we're going to cut this at 10 inches. Now, there's a big... I have lots over, but that's okay. I'll just put these into my crop. Now, I use a 28mm Olaf cutter for this because the big one just doesn't work as well. And I may have to stand up to do this. Yes, I will. Okay, so I'm going to cut a 10-inch circle. How come that won't even... Okay, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Now, does it come out? Yeah, I should. Okay, we might have missed a few spots, but that's okay. So we'll just get in there and start clipping. Oh, there we go. And this is one thing when I find when I'm doing these circles is it doesn't matter sometimes how hard you press on it. Now I'm going to use this later. So I'm, you know, it's not going to go get thrown out or anything like that. It'll be fine, okay? So, or I'll put it in with my crumbs. So now I have a 10-inch circle that's been cut on the fold line for the fabric fold line, right? So I've got this perfectly lined up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to fold this over again, just so I have everything here. And I'm going to make a little clip mark with my scissor, not more than 1/4 inch, just to give me a little bit of, okay, that's all I'm doing, right? I'm just clipping it in, not quite 1/4 inch. I already know that I'm going to be on these seam lines, right, for up and down. So now I'm going to take this piece of fabric, and this is just a batik. It's kind of it's a marbled batik. It's very beautiful, very, very beautiful. And I'm going to offset this circle a bit, and I'm not going to put it right in the middle. I'm going to offset it, and I'm going to cut a 9-inch circle out of this piece. Now you're sitting there, okay, you're cutting a 10-inch circle, and now you're cutting a 9-inch circle. You're making a 9-inch hole, right? And you're going to put a 10-inch circle inside of it. It doesn't sound like it's going to work, right? And you're like, oh, wait a minute. It needs to work. Yes, it will work. It'll be fine. Make sure your fingers aren't in the way for this one. There we go. Now we pull that away, see where we're, ooh, okay. That just didn't work out, did it? Okay. Now this circle gets used again and again and again for like another art block or whatever. It's kind of a cool moon thing going on with those stripes, right? So anyway, so let's get our marking done. So with this, you don't want to go too far before you start shuffling this about, right? You don't want to start shuffling it about too much. So what you're going to do is you're just going to fold it over in half like this. Oh, we can't show you that. Okay, you want to fold it in half like this. And you want to line up this fold line for sure. And you're going to put 2 little clips in, less than 1/4 inch. And you're going to put in less than 1/4 inch here. You're just going to make a little finger press. Normally you would do this at an ironing board, but I mean, we're here now, and we just want to go back. I just want to put in just the smallest of small little clips. And then I want to go fold all of this over, make sure it all lines up good, and just put the smallest one in right here. So basically now I have 8 little clips in my work. See, just like that. Just like that. And that's going to help me line up my portal, right? The circle that I'm going to sew in. So now I'm going to make sure I've got a good foot. I'm going to make sure I got a good 1/4 inch foot here. And pull this one out. Yesterday I was sewing with friends, and all of a sudden my needle broke on this machine. It just scared the life out of me. It was really loud. It was kind of frightening, actually. Okay, make sure this is all closed up, because that blade is just as sharp as its big brother. Okay, so now these are my points that I want to line up. This one to this one, and these 2 to these ones, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up now, and I'm going to line up, because these little ones will line up. Okay, so I want to sew it like this. Oops. Okay. Oh, that's where I'm going to start, is right there. Now I'm going to take 1 pin. You don't need to pin dozens and dozens of pins around here now. You're just going to get 1 pin. You want to make sure your Dresden seam is right where that little nick is in the work. And you want to put this under. Okay. Oh dear. Let's go the other way. That would be better. Okay. So now we get our threads, hold our threads. And what we do is we're just going to do a little back stitch. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Couple back. And I'm hand cranking, so I'm not sewing, right? Like I'm not really, like I'm not going like full bear on this thing. Now I'm going to find my foot pedal. And what we're going to do is bring the work together like this, right? So you're going to push this side this way and the top this way. And you're going to try and line up this little mark here. If you can see that. The tiny little crease there to this tiny little crease here. Right? You see that little? So basically this is what, and just take your time. You know, you don't have to race. There's no racing. I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't get it in my way. So you want to just go a little slow. And just kind of like pick your work up and kind of make it come together. Slowly bring your hands together. And you can kind of feel this coming together very gently. Remember, you're working with 2 different biases, right? So this will, if you're gentle with it, and don't manhandle it too much, it'll work. It'll be fine. Right? So now, oops, I'm going to get that just a bit better. And we just take our time. Now we just take our time. Well, there's my little nick. And there's my little nick right there. And I need to be a little closer. There we go. And we're just going to line that up. Right, cute. Yeah, this has been a strange summer here. Now, when I got my neck, I backstitched just a couple, just to reinforce it a little bit, you know, just to give that a little extra bit of help. Now, the next one I'm going to be at is, where was it? This and this. And this. I've got to be, with my neck, I've got to be right here. On this seam here. So what I'll do is I will mark this seam with a pin. Okay, and I'll mark these 2 as well because I probably will forget by the time I get around there. But some days I'm so forgetful, honest to God, I could hide my own Easter eggs in a hunt. I am just getting really bad. So it's all good. And there we go. And just move that just very gently along. And you take your time. And your hands kind of know where or how fast to push. Like this does take practice. But this works. This is such a beautiful result. Now you kind of want to line that up a bit. And there we go. And just about there. Okay. Okay, let's get to the next point. Yeah, this has been a very weird little summer already here. So, okay, that's the neck there. I'm going to mark these nicks because I'm struggling to see them. Okay. Okay. Where is this? Oh, that one's there. So this is my next little nick that's coming up. And the next last one is over here. Okay. Yeah, this one, when I sewed this Dresden together, it fell just beautifully together. It was wonderful. It was really, really nice. Okay. Now the little nick I'm aiming for is right there. You can hardly see it, but it's there. It is definitely there. So, and having 8 is much easier to deal with than having like 4. You know, it makes the work a little easier to go along. And it doesn't take long. It really doesn't. Okay, let's just adjust this a little. Okay. You know what? I'm going to put my foot down, go back, go forward. There we go. I'm going to undo my foot. I'm going to just take my foot off here for a sec. Hang on. Because I've done something dumb. I do this every time I do portals. I have to rethink how I do a portal every time. Because I can't have stuff on the other side. So what I'm doing now is I'm just laying out this part here. So that's the only part really I'm going to be working on. It's just what's in front of me here, right here. This 1/8. Now, back just a little bit, just to get me going again. Yeah, I started running into trouble because it started, okay, I can't get that other thing over there, so. Now, if you sew with a stiletto, this is a perfect one to use a stiletto on, or learn how to sew with a stiletto, because they just come together very quickly, you know, with a stiletto. And you get more precision because you can actually hold your work longer. There. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go to my next mark. So there's my next mark here. I don't know if you can see it that well. Gee, I hope you can, I don't know if where you have nothing but problems with camera angles sometimes. And I can't sew with a camera in front of me so you get the same view I get. That is almost impossible. It's almost impossible for me to sew that way. But I guess I'm going to have to practice if we can't get these camera angles right. But, okay. Here we are. We're coming up to that mark. And we just go slowly over it. Back stitch a bit just to make sure it's in place. And then we're looking for our next split here and our next mark. And we have just a little bit of thing that's hanging over. There. That's fine. Get rid of, just snip it off. It'll be fine. Oh, okay. Yeah, my Gill sister, Marianne, showed us how to do portholes. Now I did portholes differently because I only did the 4 marks before. That's how I was taught. But when she taught us the 8, I thought, oh, everybody's got to see this because this makes it so much simpler. And you don't, sometimes, you know, portholes or putting stuff into a circle it's a really cool design element, but what happens is it gets distorted, right? So you kind of have to be a little careful on how you do these, you know, especially if you're, you know, new to sewing. Okay, I've only got one more mark left, and then we're almost at the end. Okay. And then we'll get to our ta-da moment. That'll be fun. Reinforce that. There. Now we're at the home stretch where we're going to sew up to here because that's where we are. So we're at the last 1/8, I guess, is the best way. And you kind of have to, because this is under, you kind of have to guess, you know, just take your time. Don't panic about where it is. It'll come. It'll come. Okay. And then we'll just move that out of the way. That little bit of bulk sometimes gets in the way. We'll just move that out. Go right over it. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. And we're right back where we started, and now we get the ta-da moment. So with just your easy circle cut ruler or any other circle cutting tool that you have, and any Dresden ruler, any of them, right? We were able to make a porthole just by cutting the Dresden 1 inch larger than the hole that we were going to put it into. Now, again, you see I'm just putting these into fat quarters of neutral, and I haven't quite decided what size block I'm going to cut yet, but they're, you know, they're all going to be fun. One of the other things I'm going to mention, this is lying flat where the Dresden is pressed out, right? So if you wanted it a really like an art quilt where you would open up your seams and press along both sides, right? Because that's what it would look like. It would lie flatter, but the Dresden with all the seams in there is pushing it this way out towards the circle. So that's probably the way this one block is going to lie, flattest. So it'll look, so when you're done pressing, it'll kind of look like a reverse applique. So I guess that's probably the easiest way. You don't need to clip even the back of the circle, because it does, because all those little nicks that we put in there, you know, those 8 little points. So I do hope you try this one out. They're lots of fun, and we're going to cover these curves and everything else when we get into curve boot camp, and that's coming after our nosegay sew along. Our original plan was Dresden's curve boot camp and then the nosegay, but that's not going to work. And we might decide to run the boot camp and the nosegay at the same time. We're not sure yet either. So just so you have all of this, these blocks are fun. So I hope you have an absolutely fabulous week ahead, and everything goes right for you in your sewing room. So okay, you take care. All right, bye. My husband and I would like to thank you for watching today. We're so happy about the way our channel has grown, and we just want to wish you so well in your journey along with us. Please like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends. Now, the next thing is this quilt. We are wondering if you guys would like this quilt as a free sew along on this channel this fall, this coming fall, winter. We were kind of thinking that this one would be really fun to do. We could do it in a larger size or a smaller size, it's up to you, but this one was a lot of fun to make. And it's all, it lends itself to being hand stitched, but you can also do this on a sewing machine as well. So let us know in the comments below. Remember, share, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Okay, have a great week ahead. Bye!